Now what will it be? Death or exile?
Hi guys, this is Lupe from the film Exiles with your spoiler-free review of DEVS. DEVS is an 8-episode limited one-shot series created, written, and directed by Alex Garland. It aired on FX weekly early in 2020, and all episodes are now available to stream on HULU. DEVS is a sci-fi series. It's about a girl, Lily Chan, who is a tech engineer at a Silicon Valley campus called Amaya. Amaya is the name of the deceased daughter of the company CEO. Within this campus is a secluded, off-limits, top-secret project called DEVS. When Lily's boyfriend, who works at Amaya, is called up to the prestigious and top-secret DEVS project, he goes missing the day after, then commits suicide by immolation. This horrific episode sets into motion events that unravel Lily's life in incredible ways as she finds out secrets about her boyfriend Anton, about the DEVS project, and questions the nature of her own reality. So I am super excited to review this one. I feel so inspired. I feel so awed, and I'm just excited to get into it. Right off the bat, I'll tell you guys that this is one of the best TV series I have ever seen. Ever. I'll put it up against anything, and I'm ready to say it's in my top 5 series of all time. If you like sci-fi, if you like mystery, you're definitely gonna love this one. So let's get into some of the technical aspects of the series, and we'll go deeper into it. So let's first start with the actors, because what is a series without actors to play the roles? The star of it is an actress called Sonoya Mizuno. She plays Lily Chan. She was also in Ex Machina and Annihilation, so she's collaborated with director Alex Garland for quite a while, and she also had a small role in La La Land. Guys, she was absolutely incredible. This series starts with her, finishes with her. She's on screen for a massive portion of the time, and it all, depended on her performance, and she gave a performance for the ages. She was asked to do a lot. She had to show a lot of range of emotions, and in this she's everything. She's an everyday person who is thrown into this incredible situation and ends up being superhuman and a mythological hero. It's such a great hero's journey for an everyday person. Another actor that I really like in this that made an impression is Jin Ha, who plays a guy called Jamie, who is Lily's ex-boyfriend and comes into the fray to help her. He's small in stature, but he's very brave, he's inquisitive, he's loyal, he's kind, he's a true friend. There's a sweetness and a gentleness to him, but he's very brave and very valiant. I felt like he was almost like the audience's companion. When everything was ghastly and horrific and everything was just scary, he was a calming center. He was really good in this. This also stars Nick Offerman of Parks and Rec fame as Forrest, the CEO of the Amaya Tech company. In this, he's not comedic at all, guys. He's a little bit spooky, he's egotistical, he's aloof, self-righteous, pompous, prideful, mysterious, and all in all, he has a presence of like a cult leader. Also, the villain in this, the main villain, the obvious villain, is played by Zach Grenier, and he plays a character called Kenton. He's the head of security at Amaya. He's an ex-spook who is now in the private sector. He's terrifying, dogged, dogmatic, remorseless. He lacked empathy and humanity. He was essentially a sociopath because he rationalized all his evil deeds, and that makes for the most terrifying villains because you can't reason with them, you can't bargain with them, you can't hope that they see the error of their ways, because they always think that they're in the right and they have no remorse for whatever it is that they do. The acting performances were really, really good all around. The cinematography in this, I wouldn't say it's the greatest thing ever. It's not going to blow your mind. But where it does shine is that there's a lot of symbolic composition of shots, of buildings, of structures that are made to look like, religious monuments, and people made to look like religious figures. The way these subjects are framed and shown relay some of the larger messages that Alex Garland is trying to portray in the series. So the score, the music of it is very spooky, very unusual, but it's very atmospheric. There's a lot of chanting, a lot of religious music, hymnal music, cathedral music, choir music. There's even like psychedelic 70s soft rock that reminds you of, the 70s era, like cults and, all that psychedelic spiritualism and all that kind of stuff. At times it's very spooky and haunting. It really, really stuck with me. Even when I didn't know exactly what was going on, I knew that the music was terrifying and it was larger than life, and there was something spiritual and haunting about it. The music was used very, very, very well to create atmosphere and drive emotion. The story is very captivating. Right off the bat, it sucks you in within the first 20 minutes or so. It starts as a murder mystery that unravels into a wider conspiracy of unimaginable proportions. Like, to say it's of global proportions is truly thinking small. But since this is a spoiler-free review, I can't, tell you exactly what I mean by that. But the story itself is really good, aside from the themes and the messaging that it's dealing with. Now, the pacing of this, I'll say it's very bingeable. It's a series that came out on a week-by-week basis, episodically, but I waited until the end to binge it all. And guys, I can tell you, I actually had to slow down and pace myself because I was about to finish it in one day. It's only 8 episodes, and the pacing of it, the way information is revealed and relayed, the cliffhangers that are left, the questions that are left, it just sucks you in and you want to know more and more and more and more. So this is one that you'll be, hooked onto. The only thing that may slow it down for people is that it deals with very heady and convoluted scientific principles, but I think they're relayed in a way that were quite understandable. Like, we might not understand the physics concepts, the theoretical physics and string theory, but they are married with the context of the series, and in a way they explain themselves. The ending of it was well done. While watching it, just observing the complexity of the entire series and all the different elements that Alex Garland was juggling, how much depth it has, I was quite afraid that the ending would fall apart and it would not be able to stick the landing. But guys, I gotta say, like a gymnast attempting a quadruple axel, it nailed it like standing ovations, because there's a lot of sci-fi mumbo jumbo and jargon, cold hard sci-fi, but there is a warmth of humanity in the story, and there is meaning within the coldness of the sci-fi elements of the story. So, I mean, what's astounding about this is that it's dealing with very complex, high concept themes. Like, this is big brain sci-fi. We're dealing with theoretical physics, multiverse, string theory, multiple realities, questioning the nature of our reality, dealing with the concept of science and the exploration of the unknown as a whole. It's Promethean in its approach, in that it's looking at the dangers of science. It deals with the concept of deity and God. It deals with the concept of cults and cult figures. It deals with the godlike power of science. It deals with grief. It deals with loss. It deals with the battle between our rational scientific mind and our irrational emotional mind. But amidst all of this exploration of these very, very, very complex and matter-of-fact concepts, there is a beautiful human story. And I think that that's where this shines. Guys, I've been so impressed with this. I'm still thinking about it, still wrestling with a lot of the concepts. I'm in awe with how Alex Garland was able to juggle all these very complex ideas and concepts and still put it within a human story, make it relatable, understandable, and give very fulfilling catharsis at the end. I gotta say that Alex Garland, with his masterpiece Ex Machina, his contributions to the movie Dread, and his stellar work on the cult classic Annihilation, DEVS is his magnus opus, as great as all those other ones are. Alex Garland has cemented himself, in my mind, as one of the definitive sci-fi minds in cinema of our time, maybe even of all time. Sci-fi is a mythological tool for us to explore our relationship as a species with science, with discovering the unknown and harnessing its power. You see, mankind has always been both intrigued and terrified of science at the same time. Like a fire, it both illuminates and destroys. The subject matter of much of Alex Garland's work acts as a cautionary tale of the destructive power of science, especially when it's pushed to its limits. Like the Greek myth Icarus, who channeled godlike power, flew too close to the sun, and paid dearly for it. DEVS is squarely a modern myth in that vein. To try to summarize these larger-than-life ideas concisely, Alex Garland questions the hubris of man in our pursuit of science. DEVS is rare. DEVS is masterful. It is ambitious, wildly ambitious, and it is epic. But what makes it truly special, apart from, the craft of filmmaking, which is evidently on display throughout the film, with incredible performances by the best thespians, amazing visual effects, incredible story pacing, editing, there is a human story within all of it. When watching DEVS, we are awed and devastated by the laws of the natural world, but we're comforted by the warmth of its humanity. DEVS blew my mind to smithereens, then expanded it, and it will surely do the same to you. Thanks for listening to my review of DEVS. I hope you enjoyed that. Have you seen DEVS? If you have, hit me up in the comment section or on Twitter at LiveLoveLupe, and let's talk about it. And if you haven't seen it, what are you waiting for? So guys, till next time, stay exiled.